beautiful people. Happy Sabbath. All praises to the Most High. So, we're going to just continue off where I last left off. And then my next video, my next topic is going to be about the Kingdom of Marine. I know lately this network has only been giving me about 5 minutes to make a lesson. Bear with me. It's not my doing. I'm supposed to initially get 17 minutes to make a video. But unfortunately, I haven't been getting I'm sorry about the really short videos. I can't even get into my lesson how deep I want to get into it in 5 minutes. I need at least 12. But you know what? Let's hope and pray that they'll start giving me some more time again so I can get in depth. Now we're gonna finish off where we should be praying to God and not Christ. And Christ is the high priest, he's the intercessor, he's the Son of God, he is the Christ, okay? He's the anointed one, he's the just one, okay? Now, the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 2. He has in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he has appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. So, God sent his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things. He's the head of all principalities and powers and the church. Okay. Now, Hebrews chapter 7, verse 25. Wherefore he is able also to save them to the uttermost that come unto God by him, seeing he ever lives to make intercession for them. So what people come to God by Christ because he lives to make intercession for you. You get remissions of sins. If Christ didn't come, nobody would be getting to heaven because sin separates you from God. And Christ was the last sacrifice. The Passover, with the priests and the prophets before, they had to, sacrifice lambs and things for their sins. Christ was the last sacrifice. That's why you don't make sacrifice for animals and things like that anymore. You plead the blood of Christ. He's your remission of sins. All right. Now, Hebrews chapter 1, verse 3. Who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all the things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. So now here it's telling you Christ sits on the right hand of God. Now, Hebrews chapter 8, verse 1. Now, of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such an high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens. Now, I'm not going to keep going on. Christ is sitting on the right hand of God. Let's hear Christ tell you to pray to God. Let's hear Christ telling you he's praying to God. Let's get into the scriptures, all right? Now, John 12 and 29, Father, glorify thy name. That's Christ speaking, what's in red. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again. So who was speaking to Christ when he says he's glorified his name and he will glorify it again? That was the Most High God. Christ said, Father, glorify thy name. And then God said he's already glorified his name and he will do it again. Now, Matthew 24 and 36, but of that day and hour knows no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Now, here Christ is telling you when the coming comes, when, that nobody knows the day or the time, only the Most High God. Not even he knows. Now, Matthew 26 and 39. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, Oh, my Father. So now you have Christ praying to the Most High God. Oh, my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou will. So that, I think people should really read the book of Matthew chapter 26 and get the full essence of what Christ is talking. But here you have Christ praying to the Most High God, Now, when he was being crucified, now Matthew's chapter 20, verse 23, and he said unto them, now Christ speaks, Ye shall drink indeed of my cup and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left hand is not to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. So Christ doesn't make the decision on who sits on the right hand or the left of him. That decision is made by the Most High God. Learn the difference. Now, John chapter 18, verse 11. Then said Christ unto Peter, Put up thy sword into thy sheath. The cup which my Father has given me, shall I not drink it? So now you have Christ here telling his disciples in Matthew chapter 20 and 23, you shall drink indeed of my cup and be baptized. Now Christ is telling his disciples, the cup that God has given him, shall he not drink it? So he tells his disciples, you're going to have to, you're not greater than your master. The cup that I drink, you're going to have to drink it. And then Christ is telling them here that what God sent him to do on earth, is he not going to do it? The cup that God given him to drink, is he not going to drink it? Now, John chapter 10:29, my Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. So that's, he's talking about his Father.